Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And we're looking at the potential for some thunderstorms late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So we do have a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow. I'll walk you through the potential and the timeline.
Cutting positions, raising salaries. Some state lawmakers want to eliminate open roles. How many jobs could be on the chopping block and at what cost?
Facing a familiar foe, the Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Why fans are calling this a rematch.
Tomorrow is a WRL weather alert day for our Wednesday on the way, and strong storms likely crossing our area early morning hours tomorrow. Good afternoon to you on this Tuesday. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at how they could affect your morning commute. Elizabeth.
We're going to start off with this late tonight. We're going to see the potential for some scattered thunderstorms, and some of that could last into the morning commute tomorrow. Damaging winds, large hail, and a small risk for tornadoes are all possible, and this does cover almost the entire viewing area. The storm definitely has a history of producing severe weather over the last 24 hours, and currently there is at least there was one severe thunderstorm that is there in Nashville. As this moves across the mountains, as we often see, it will likely weaken somewhat. So this is a look at Futurecast for the rest of the afternoon. It's nice out there right now. We'll see partly cloudy skies all the way through until about 10 or 11 o'clock. This is midnight, and you can see some scattered storms that roll through the area. And then there's 5 a.m. Then we're going to have potentially a line, but some of the newer models coming through really weaken that line as it comes through. So there may be a few isolated instances where we might have some strong winds, maybe an isolated severe storm. But fortunately, it's looking a little less likely with some of these newer runs of the computer models. Make sure to check in with Kat and Mike this evening for the even newer runs of the models that they'll have in. For the rest of the day, things are looking nice. We take a look at downtown Raleigh. Beautiful sunshine out there. It feels very comfortable, a little bit breezy. It will be a warm afternoon, but right now our temperatures are it's about 75 degrees, and we'll see highs climbing into the low 80s for later on today. Coming up, we'll also take a good look at the holiday weekend. We may have some time periods where we have thunderstorms, but generally it looks pretty good.
Elizabeth, thanks. Some big cuts could be on the way to state government. State House lawmakers want to cut 20% of vacant positions in every agency and use that money to raise the pay of people who work in those agencies. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie is live at the state legislative building where Republican leaders announced that proposal this morning. Laura.
Renee, it might sound a little like Doge, right? Elon Musk's attempt to reduce the federal payroll across the board cuts. But lawmakers here say it's just right sizing. And they say it would free up millions of dollars to help agencies pay their other positions better. House Republican leaders are saying they want to take 1 out of every 5 open positions in state government, remove that from the payroll, and give the money back to that agency to use for raises for other employees. The total cut here would be around 3,000 jobs, they say. Lambeth said these would be positions that have been vacant for a long time, and agencies have already figured out how to work around them. Agency leaders would choose which vacant positions to cut.
They all said to us, we need more discretionary money so that we can fill hard to fill positions. And so this was really just a shift, taking it out of money that wasn't being used with the vacancies. And we looked at a lot of those vacancies, and some of them went into years.
A State Employees Association Director, Ardis Watkins, accused lawmakers of failing to address what she called a vacancy crisis in state government. She called the proposal a bizarre move that she said is intended to justify further tax cuts. Robbing Peter to pay Paul is the opposite of efficient government, Watkins said. Fewer state positions means fewer and slower services for the public. House lawmakers are moving the bill through committees today where they're making amendments to it to make some changes. It's expected to be on the House floor for a vote as soon as tomorrow. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Healthcare costs will soon increase for state workers, retirees, and their families, possibly even doubling for some. Within the last hour, the State Health Plan Board met in Raleigh to discuss the changes. Rising healthcare costs have led to a $500 million shortfall. State lawmakers appear ready to pay for only some of those costs. That means health plan members will see their premiums, deductibles, and other costs go up. You can find more details on these higher costs as well as the new benefits the state health plan is also hoping to add by going online to WRAL.com.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center following some breaking news. The FDA is getting more strict on who will be able to get a COVID vaccine. The FDA, they outlined new regulatory guidance for future COVID-19 vaccine boosters, setting stricter approval standards for healthy Americans, meaning that the COVID vaccine rollout for these healthy kids and adults is likely going to be delayed. The agency says they want to see how new clinical trials showing COVID shots are still safe and effective before approving them for healthy adults and children. They recommended different standards of evidence for this approval based on patients' risk of getting severely sick from COVID.
Closing arguments are expected to begin this afternoon in the trial of a man charged with killing a Home Depot employee. The trial is taking place in Orange County. That employee, Mr. Gary, as he was known, was 82 years old. He died from his injuries after authorities say a man trying to steal a pressure washer pushed him to the ground. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan shares the charges jurors will be considering.
Just a few moments ago here in Orange County, a judge and several attorneys wrapped up what they call a charge conference to decide on what the jury will deliberate. And that includes first-degree murder, second-degree murder, robbery, and involuntary manslaughter. Terry McMillan of Durham is accused of pushing 82-year-old Gary Razor to the ground at the Home Depot in Hillsborough in October of 2022. Razor broke several bones in the fall and died a month later because of complications from his injuries. McMillan was charged with first-degree murder and robbery and jailed with no bond. According to police, McMillan was stealing a pressure washer. Arrest warrants show the items he stole were valued at $837. No cameras are allowed here in this courtroom for the trial. Of course, we will be on verdict watch throughout the day. If convicted, McMillan could face a penalty of life in prison without parole. Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News, Orange County.
Charges are expected in 2 crashes in Johnston County. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was at this scene on Big Pine Road around midnight. Several people were taken to the hospital, including 2 children. Highway Patrol says a driver failed to yield at the intersection with Barber Mill Road, causing the initial crash. Then another car crashed when the driver says they didn't see the first crash on the dark road. Crews are working to determine what caused a garage fire in Zebulon. This happened in a neighborhood on Lacewing Drive, just off Highway 96. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows a charred workbench. Police say no one was hurt. Firefighters stopped the flames from spreading to nearby homes.
One of the items in President Trump's agenda bill is sparking protests from more than 100 organizations. If passed, the rule would prohibit states from enforcing any law or regulation related to artificial intelligence for 10 years. That means if a company deliberately designs an algorithm that causes harm, no matter how intentional, the company that made or used the bad tech would not be held accountable to lawmakers or the public. Right now, I want to take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average as the stock's second day of trading this week, and it is down 143 points, and it has spent the entire day in negative numbers from the early morning futures and on. Other major indices also in negative territory this noon.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Carolina Hurricanes and Florida Panthers is tonight. And the Canes are looking for a little revenge. This is a rematch of the 2023 Conference Final when things did not go the Canes' way. Laura Levine is at the Lenovo Center, where the team hopes to capitalize on home ice advantage.
Right now, I'm in the eye of the hurricane as the Carolina Hurricanes skate closer and closer to a Stanley Cup win. Tonight, they have home ice advantage, and when it's all said and done, they hope they're the last one standing. Carolina Hurricanes reached the Eastern Conference Final of the Stanley Cup playoffs for the second time in 3 seasons.
You know, any chance you get to be in the playoffs, especially make it to the conference finals, you know, a couple times, it's almost like you're ready.
The Hurricanes will face the Florida Panthers, who defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-1 in Game 7 of their second-round series on Sunday. For 7 seasons, Coach Rod Brind'Amour has preached a game based on paying really close attention to the finer details, and that's really what has set them apart.
They've had a lot of, almost, and I think for them to just constantly believe in what we're doing and keep pushing. I mean, that's the whole key, and that's all you can do.
Hockey star Sebastian Aho tells us now they're up against the best of the best, and they are ready.
To be best, you got to beat the best, and they're defending cup champs, and obviously a really good team, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. But we're ready, we're hungry, and can't wait.
And of course, we'll be watching all the action and keeping you updated. The puck drops here tonight at 8 p.m. and then Game 2 will take place inside the Lenovo Center as well on Thursday. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
And here in the Live Center, some players and Coach Brindamore actually spoke at a press conference earlier this morning, and I was listening in to what they had to say. We heard from Taylor Hall and Jordan Stahl. Taylor saying it's been such a great journey so far, and he's just so excited to keep on going with this. Jordan Stahl saying we're just enjoying the moment. We're enjoying the playoff crowd. It's a totally different crowd when you get to the playoffs. They're going to leave it all out there tonight. Coach Rod Brindamore, when asked on how they elevate for the playoffs, he says it's a grind. There's no secret. Florida is a great team. They're the best of the best. But one thing they try to do is leave a little bit left towards the end of the year for these playoff hopefuls, right? Take a listen.
Both teams, I think, are at this time of year beat up, and mentally, physically, it's a grind. That's why this is the toughest thing to win, and that there is the trick in there, is trying to find, okay, can you give me a little more?
Yeah, they just need a little more tonight. When asked what makes the difference, he say a player here or there that does something special. But tonight, they're going to stick to the game plan. Let's go, Canes.
Just 4 teams left. Everybody would love to be them right now. WRAL is your home for exclusive post-game analysis of the Canes during their playoff run. No one covers the Canes like we do. With coverage from our team of experts, including former Cane Shane Willis. Don't miss Canes' exclusive post-game live tonight, 11:25 on WRAL.
Next at noon, be glad nobody was in that vehicle the moment a bolt of lightning cracks right through a police cruiser.
Also, same storm, same state for this rope tornado where it hit and the dozens of people killed across the country's midsection.
Plus, federal funding dropped. The Wake County schools in danger of losing valuable resources.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
Welcome back. It's such a beautiful day to play ball. You're looking live at the DBAP, where the ACC baseball tournament has returned to Durham. You can see the teams warming up there. No local teams today, but 7-seed Duke takes the field tomorrow at 5 p.m. 4-seed NC State will play the first game Thursday at 7 p.m. And 3-seed UNC won't play until Friday night at 7. The championship game will be on Sunday. You're watching WRAL News, available on a YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
A Democratic congresswoman says federal charges filed against her in an ICE facility scuffle are absurd. Representative LaMonica McIver says a chaotic scene erupted outside the detention center while she was there to inspect it. During the scuffle, McIver, protesters, and others pushed against each other as the officers were there. And today, McIver said the charges mischaracterize and distort her actions. New York Mayor Ras Baraka was arrested. However, prosecutors plan to drop the federal trespassing charge against him. The Department of Justice plans to use a Civil War-era anti-fraud law to investigate diversity initiatives at colleges. The False Claims Act is part of the government's establishment of the Civil Rights Fraud Initiative. The U.S. Deputy Attorney General cites anti-Semitism and certain access to women's sports on campuses as potential examples of when the act could be implemented. Schools found in violation would be subject to fines, damages, even criminal enforcement.
More than 150,000 customers in Nebraska and Oklahoma are without power following days of severe weather, including tornadoes. Storm chasers captured this dangerous rope tornado in Arnett, Oklahoma. This was just one of several tornadoes reported across the state over the weekend. At least 27 people have been killed across the country's midsection by a string of violent storms that have spawned numerous destructive tornadoes. A police security camera caught the moment lightning struck a parked police cruiser. This was in Newcastle, Oklahoma, about 160 miles south of the town we just showed you. The strike happened yesterday as another wave of storms moved across parts of Oklahoma. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
WRAL's Atlantic Hurricane Forecast airs tonight at 6. Meteorologist Chris Michael shows us some of the things the teams have been analyzing ahead of tonight's forecast.
Making a forecast for an entire season is really difficult, especially because now we're talking about the ocean, not just the Atlantic, but actually the Pacific, the El Nino, which refers to warmer waters off the coast of Peru. You might ask, why do we care about that? Well, it oftentimes makes the wind stronger above us, which can essentially choke off hurricanes. So during hurricane season, you actually root for the El Nino. The La Nina, though, is the opposite, where the water is cooler off the coast of Peru, and that tends to lead to lighter wind above us in the Atlantic, which actually favors more hurricanes. And then neutral is somewhere in the middle, where you oftentimes have the near average amount of tropical systems. Of course, we do have to keep an eye on different portions of the Atlantic. This portion right here, called the Main Development Region, that's where we tend to see the most activity during August through October. Right now, cooler than average. Hopefully that continues. Hurricane season is now 12 days away. It officially starts on June the 1st. Our forecast tonight at 6 on WRAL.
12 days away still, but it feels like we've been in some tumultuous times with some of the storms that have come in and around the weather alert days we've had.
Yeah, and certainly. And we showed you the damage in Oklahoma. That storm system is headed our way. We could be in for some disruptive weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the impacts and when we'll see all this. Elizabeth.
That front will start to arrive and actually move through during the day tomorrow, especially later in the day. But ahead of it, we'll likely have a round of some showers and thunderstorms. So tomorrow's a WRAL weather alert day, mainly for overnight storms and very early in the morning. So it's good to have a way to get any sort of warnings early in the morning. So one idea is download the WRAL app. Make sure you turn alerts on for weather and turn on the TV. We'll be here all night watching it. It'll be less humid once all this moves through, and that means a really nice holiday weekend. And we'll touch more on that coming up. We've watched this very small band of thunderstorms come through overnight last night, very early this morning. It was a pretty powerful band along this cold front, and we've just seen much weaker storms moving through the middle of Tennessee. But there is a level 3 risk for severe storms across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and the Deep South. Again, for us, it's a level 1 risk for tonight and for tomorrow. Damaging wind and hail would be our biggest threats. Level 1 risk means just isolated storms producing damage. Again, likely wind damage and sometimes hail. In this case, there could be a little bit of hail produced. We've seen that several times this spring season. Expect partly cloudy skies on through the evening. We don't really start to see showers and storms developing until maybe between 10 and midnight. A few cells will roll through. One or two of those could produce some wind damage. But then this line that looks like it's going to roll through during the morning commute looks a little weaker than it did earlier. So maybe we'll get by with just having a band of rain that comes through during the commute, but maybe a better chance for storms in the wee hours of the morning. And then as we get through the afternoon, we'll still see the front coming through. But notice there, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's a very, very small chance. And it may be windy in the afternoon. But again, we're not looking at a big chance for storms tomorrow afternoon or evening. Damaging wind, the threat for that does cover the entire viewing area. A better chance for hail would be in our western counties, and if there's a tornado, it's more likely in our southwestern counties. It's pretty out there right now. This is a live look from our Jimmy V camera as we take a look down Fayetteville Street. Beautiful sunshine and 73 degrees. Dew point at 49. It is gorgeous out there right now. Upper 60s, Roxborough and South Hill, mid 70s, Fayetteville and down into Clinton. I'm looking at 70s in the Triangle too. 71 Garner and Knightdale, 78 in Apex, 75 in Holly Springs. Around town this afternoon, highs will climb into the low 80s in the Triangle and around 86 over in Fayetteville. Big Canes game tonight. A lot of folks are excited about that for sure. If you're going to be out there tailgating, the weather will be fine for the first part of the evening. Now, as you're coming out of the arena, especially if it's a close one and there's overtime, there might be a few stray showers or thunderstorms. As Chris said, hey, we've got 12 more days until the tropical season. Don't forget, you don't want to miss our hurricane forecast tonight in the 6 o'clock newscast. Alan Libby sent us this gorgeous sunrise here from Wake Forest. We love your photos. Go to WRAL.com/report it and send us some of your photos, whatever's happening in your backyard. Look what happens after Wednesday. Our temperatures drop nicely, but we'll talk a bit more about our potential for some showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday of the holiday.
Elizabeth, thanks. Safety issue. A driver is recovering after his car was hit by a train at a railroad crossing in Durham. Coming up at 5, we're looking into the problem areas that have seen several similar crashes and asking what can be done to make drivers safer.
Then at 5:30, redeveloping downtown. What changes Raleigh City Council is considering for Moore Square. It's still ahead this noon. Top towns revealed. 5 on your side shows us the triangle spots that just ranked among the best places to live in the country.
Anti-party. Airbnb sends a strong message to its customers before Memorial Day weekend. The new rules and regulations it's enforcing before the start of summer.
Are you in one of the best places to live in America? U.S. News & World Report just dropped its new rankings, and 2 towns in the Triangle are shining in the top 10. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur reveals the places that made the list and why they snagged those top spots.
More than 850 towns and cities were considered for this list, so it's pretty impressive that Cary ended up at the 5th spot and Apex at number 7. U.S. News & World Report took things like quality of life, job opportunities, and value and desirability into account in making their ranking. But if you want to live in Cary or Apex, it'll cost you. Both have average housing costs of more than $450,000, far exceeding the $281,000 national average. Plus, the median household income is nearly double the national average. Consumer lending analyst Erica Giovanetti said it was the area's strong job market, especially the high availability of high-paying jobs, that put Cary and Apex in the top 10.
The job market in the Triangle area is just fantastic when it comes to the salary index and low unemployment rates.
Now, interestingly, U.S. News & World Report put out a smaller, most affordable places to live in the nation, and not a single town or city in North Carolina made the top 25 of that list. What do you think about all this? Do you think that these towns and cities are some of the best places to live? Let us know. You can sound off right now on WRAL's Facebook and Instagram pages. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Airbnb is cracking down on partying this summer. The vacation rental company has rolled out its anti-party technology for listings across the country. The system will not allow certain bookings over Memorial Day and the 4th of July weekends. Airbnb will consider venue, length of stay, distance, and whether the reservation was made last minute to determine if the guest will be allowed to book a property. Anyone who is blocked from booking will still have the ability to reserve another location. School funding cuts. Why 6 Wake County public high schools could lose federal dollars.
DoorDash debacle. Police want to know how a delivery driver ended up parked out on an airport tarmac. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen right now. We'll be right back.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number 1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
In about an hour, members of the Wake County School Board will consider a new plan that would change the rules for who gets federal Title I funds. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains why 6 schools would be dropped from the program under these new requirements.
Right now, we're pressing Wake school leaders for answers as a committee will meet here at the school district headquarters later today to consider cuts to Title I funding. 6 high schools would be affected by this: East Wake, Knightdale, Phillips, South Garner, Southeast Raleigh, and Score Academy. Title I is a federal program that offers extra support for schools that serve more lower-income students. Here are some of the questions we've asked the school district. Why are they considering this change? What would be the potential impact? And how are these schools using Title I funding right now? We're planning to get those answers at today's meeting. The district wants to require 75% of a high school student body to meet Title I requirements. That's up from the 50% requirement that stands right now. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how some schools wouldn't make the cut.
they wouldn't have enough students meeting federal poverty thresholds. So that means they have Medicaid or temporary assistance for needy families. Wake County wants to increase the percentage of students you have to meet to qualify for that at the high school level.
You can follow our coverage on this today on our website, WRAL.com. Just search in the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Wake schools could finalize a new cell phone policy tonight. Under the plan, student cell phones must be silenced and put away, and smartwatches must be in airplane mode. There would be some exceptions, such as during an emergency. Cell phones could be confiscated, in some cases, until a parent picks it up after school. A lot of how the policy would be carried out would still be up to principals. The policy needs to be voted on twice, and the board could choose to take both votes tonight. You can follow our coverage at the education section of WRAL.com.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, a cucumber recall to tell you about the FDA recalling cucumbers due to salmonella after more than 20 people got sick, including here in North Carolina. They say at least 26 people have been sickened by the outbreak over 15 states. 9 people have been hospitalized. The cucumbers were distributed by Fresh Start Produce Sales. They were sent to restaurants, wholesalers, retailers, and distribution centers. The FDA is still working to determine exactly where the vegetables were sold. The FDA says if you know you have this brand, throw it out immediately and contact customers who may have eaten it as well.
Thanks, Michelle. Big changes could be coming to the area around Moore Square in Raleigh. This morning, leaders reviewed a redevelopment plan for that area. Loaded development plans to build stores, a boutique hotel, and several units of affordable housing. Concerns over the project's budget are a main issue for the city and developer. Raleigh City's manager will present this budget during its regular meeting in less than 30 minutes. And tonight, people in Durham are expected to gather in support of expanding HEART. HEART is a program in the city of Durham that sends unarmed crisis responders to some emergency calls. The group will bring its concerns and a petition to today's Sheriff Town Hall meeting. It'll be held at the Ruritan Club in Bahama at 7 o'clock this evening.
President Trump's phone calls with the leaders of Russia and Ukraine deepened expectations that progress might soon be made on ending the more than 3-year war in Ukraine. But the absence of any significant breakthrough is keeping hopes low. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez explains there is no mention of when the leaders of Russia and Ukraine will meet.
Just hours after what Ukraine says was Russia's largest drone attacks of the war, President Trump saying his high-stakes phone call with Russian President Putin went very well, adding Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations toward a ceasefire.
Very big egos involved, I tell you. Big egos involved, but I think something's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'd just back away and they're going to have to keep going.
The president saying that Pope Leo offered to host peace talks at the Vatican.
I think it would be great to have it at the Vatican. Maybe it would have some extra significance.
Still, there was no immediate breakthrough on a ceasefire.
I said, when are we going to end this, Vladimir? I've known him for a long time now. I said, when are we going to end this bloodshed, this bloodbath? I did say, it's time. You got to stop this thing.
The pilot of this medical helicopter is being praised after making an emergency landing in a Pennsylvania neighborhood. A witness says he saw a propeller fall off the helicopter.
It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and today we are spotlighting a local nonprofit making a big impact. El Futuro provides mental health services to the Spanish-speaking community across North Carolina, including Durham. And joining us to share some information about this month is El Futuro Communications Manager Mary Pierce. Mary, I want to thank you for joining us. I do appreciate it. First off, tell us, for people who may not know, what is the mission at El Futuro? Who are you trying to help in the community?
Yes, we are a mental health clinic targeted Latinos. We provide mental health and well-being services, also system use and training for mental health providers around the Triangle and beyond. We serve the Latino community.
Why do you find it especially important to provide mental health services to the Spanish-speaking community?
Well, it's a community that is resilient, that it comes to this country looking for realize their dreams, understand a new environment, looking for opportunities, and they realize there is a cultural component in facing challenges that make them feel stress. A lot of barriers like language, as I say, cultural components that they are not aware, and that could be really stressful for them and for their families and for children experiencing the school when another language, the teacher is talking in another language that they don't normally do. So all these components give them a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress and sometimes depression. And we serve the community to help them the best way they can face these challenges and thrive in their dreams when they come here.
For people who are out there and they want to help, how can the community help?
Yes. Well, right now we are live with our May Mental Health campaign. As you all know, May is May Mental Health Month. And we celebrated with a campaign raising a goal of $50,000, and we are away of this goal for $15,000. So if you want to help us reach this goal, please go to our website, elfuturo-nc.org, and make your donation. If you are representing an organization, you can also sponsor us, and you can call us to find more information about how you can do it at 919-688-7101. And we can give you more information about that.
And I know that there are a lot of events that you go through throughout the whole year. This is just 1 month that you're focusing on the mental health part of it. So thank you for shedding some light on that. I do appreciate it. Mary Pierce with El Futuro, and we'll see you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Couch potatoes have a greater risk of brain decline even if they do exercise. Researchers found that more sedentary time was correlated to brain shrinkage and resulted in lower scores on memory and information processing tests. Those with more sedentary lifestyles were also more likely to develop Alzheimer's. The data suggests that reducing time sitting could help prevent neurodegeneration and cognitive decline. Even if it's a short burst of time, getting out and moving around is always a good thing. Outside, it is beautiful out there. We do have unsettled weather coming tomorrow, but Elizabeth, today just looks fabulous.
It really does, and it is fabulous. Our dew point or humidity is really low today. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. I mean, we've got a gorgeous afternoon on our hands. This, of course, is a live look at the DBAP, where we talked about earlier. The ACC baseball tournament is going on right now all week, so it's not just today, but all the way through Friday at least, as the students are out there, the student athletes out there having a great time. So ACC championship for today, it really might be one of the nicer days. Just a nice day, 81 degrees with lower humidity. Now, tomorrow, there might be a little rain early in the morning, but during the afternoon, our chances are pretty slim. It's going to be a warmer day, 86. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday also look really nice. Temperatures will be in the 70s. We've got some pretty nice weather in our forecast. It's a little bit breezy outside right now. Our temperatures are in the mid-70s for the most part. Our winds in Fayetteville are gusting to about 20. It's a little breezier than it was yesterday. Our wind is coming out of the north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We do have the potential for some severe storms closer to midnight and then into the first part of the day on Wednesday. Really looking past lunchtime Wednesday, it looks like our chance for severe storms is really starting to back off. We do have some strong thunderstorms moving through Tennessee right now, but as that moves across our area, our chances really go down. So let's talk about our timeline. About 10 or 11 o'clock, we're going to start to see a few cells develop. That chance goes up as we get into, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it stays with us up until around 7. Once we get past 7 o'clock in the morning, that potential goes down, and really it looks scattered. We'll have a wave of rain potentially that comes through during the morning commute, say between 6 and 7 and maybe 8 and 9, and there may be a few thunderstorms embedded in that, but again, the newer runs of the models look lighter. What about tomorrow afternoon? We're proud sponsors of Alive After 5 in downtown Raleigh. It looks good. I mean, I think we get to 5 o'clock and our chances for rain are almost 0. 86 at 5 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, a very comfortable 75. So get out and enjoy a little bit of free live music. Again, our chances for rain will be highest overnight tonight through the early part of the day Wednesday. Thursday, it's a very small chance for rain, as well as Friday and Saturday. But looking ahead to Sunday and Monday, we do have the potential for a few showers and storms. It's not like we're going to see a whole lot of rain. We take a look at the forecast. It's, a quarter of an inch or so. This is Friday evening at 8 o'clock, looking all good. Notice all the way through Saturday, things are looking good. Now, Sunday, it looks like we could have a small chance for thunderstorms. And again, on Monday, this is a look at our forecast for the weekend. We get into a 30% chance on Sunday and a 40% chance on Monday. Temperatures stay nice and pleasant in the 70s. Now, that is not the final word for Sunday and Monday. The models have been a bit back and forth on which day looks the wettest. Right now, we're just going to put a chance on each day, but keep checking back. If you have big plans for the holiday, we may change that up just a bit. Don't forget, tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. It's mainly going to be overnight, so make sure you've downloaded your WRAL app and turn on alerts for weather. And then after that, things are looking pretty good, minus a small chance for some storms by the end of the weekend.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Cubs or White Sox? Chicago sports fans have been arguing over the new Pope's loyalties since he was elected 2 weeks ago, and now we have definitive proof which hometown team he prefers.
And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers: 13, 14, 37, 50, and 60. The Powerball is 11. The Power Play is 2.
As we wrap things up, we have a look at a few of the headlines we're working for you today. Now, healthcare costs will soon increase for state workers, retirees, and their families, possibly even doubling for some. Not long ago, the State Health Plan Board met in Raleigh to discuss the changes. Rising healthcare costs have led to a $500 million shortfall. State lawmakers appear ready to pay for only some of those costs. That means health plan members will see their premiums, deductibles, and other costs go up.
Wake County schools could finalize a new cell phone policy tonight. Under the plan, cell phones must be silenced and put away, and smartwatches must be in airplane mode. The plan does include some exceptions to include during an emergency. Individual school principals would determine how to carry out and enforce the policy. We'll bring you updates on air and online.
Carolina Hurricanes continue their quest for the Cup tonight in Raleigh. The Canes host the Florida Panthers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Puck drops 8 o'clock tonight at the Lenovo Center, and don't miss WRAL's exclusive post-game analysis from our team of experts, including former Cane Shane Willis. That's tonight at 11:25 on WRAL. The Chicago White Sox unveiled new artwork honoring one of their most popular fans. The new installation features an image of Pope Leo XIV, along with a number 14 jersey with his name on the back. Fans will find the image near section 140, which is the section he sat in with friends when the Sox played Game 1 of the 2005 World Series, and he was there. White Sox senior vice president said Pope Leo is welcome to come back anytime to sit in section 140 or anywhere he wants. He's the Pope. He can throw out the first pitch. I mean, maybe even let him have a plate appearance, get a hit.
Today is National Rescue Dog Day, and our pet of the day would sure like to find her forever home. Lorelei comes to us from Triangle Beagle Rescue. Though she's not a full beagle, she has all the charm and heart that make her incredibly lovable. Lorelei is housebroken, loves, walks, snuggles, and gets along with kids, cats, and other dogs. She's been at the shelter for nearly 200 days, and she truly hopes that her people are watching today. To learn more about adopting Lorelei, you can go to trybeagles.org. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day before that WRAL Weather Alert Day sets in for tomorrow.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.